So, welcome to the Dare Show podcast. So I'm gonna review Married at First Sight, the Unmatchables. Now, I've enjoyed the last seasons of Married at First Sight and the reviews. So I'm like, I'm late to the Unmatchables review. But let's talk about the Unmatchables. It had popped up on Hulu. I don't have regular TV, and I wasn't that interested in it. But I'm like, let me give this a try, and it's a very entertaining show. So the format of the show is they have two singles that are not ready for marriage. So I guess they're like in the casting. They like cast their videos, or they're in the casting to become contestants on Married at First Sight, but they're unmatchable because they have so many fucking issues. And so they have two contestants, a boy, a female, and a male. Well, I think there's some gay couples on here too, which is cool. Um, there's a female and a male, and we learn about them. They clean them up a little bit. They send them out on dates. Let's see what happens. So the first people we meet are Xavier's, I believe his name is, and Ashley. Xavier's works at a funeral home. Xavier's is very into his skincare. He's very particular about things, about people's looks, especially people's breath, how their breath smells. But it's like he's particular about how he looks also. It's a little funny looking. But he gives me like Virgo tendencies. Like I middle key feel him on not all the things, but like being very particular about certain things. About time especially. So he meets with Pastor Cal. Well, Pastor Cal meets with him, pops up at his house because he's like, listen here, we're going to shake some things up. We're not going to be spontaneous, whatever that word is. So he's like, yeah, so we're going to talk. You got 5 minutes to get ready. We're about to go do something. I kind of forgot what happened there. But I know he went to, took him in his Porsche, or whatever sports car that was. He took him in his sports car, gave him 5 minutes, like, hurry up, get ready. And you actually, like, his skin looked really, really good. I don't think it made it seem like he didn't, everything isn't 100%, spontaneous when you're working with, like, TV. But it seemed like he didn't have his skin, he didn't do his skincare routine. And his skin looked really good without like all the formulas and potions and motions he puts on it. So he gets in the car and they go, I guess, like get like a haircut or something because he needed a haircut. Because I remember, he was saying like, I think it's like Viviana or somebody. He was like, yeah, my cousin comes or somebody comes and cuts my hair every 2 weeks, and if they're not on time, I get a little anxious and get a little crazy, get a little worried. And I'm like, yeah, he looked like he needed a haircut, so they got took him to get a haircut. And Cal was just like, you need to relax. Blah 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 blah. Then Viviana took him to go get a facial, so he goes gets a facial. He's blind. Oh no, wait. Did Viviana or Cal? I think Viviana did. Yeah, took him to get a facial. Or I don't think he went and got a facial. I think he just got like his head rubbed or something at some kind of spa. And so she's like, have conversations with the person who you're talking to. So this thick, voluptuous, braided woman, blonde woman, comes in. And she's rubbing his hair and rubbing his head and talking to him. They're having like really good conversation. And so then at the end, he takes the blindfold off and he just, I don't know what this is, but they made him seem like he doesn't, maybe it's that Married at First Sight, spice they put in. But every woman on this show that he was talking to, they were like a thick woman, thicker woman. So I'm just like, why do they keep doing that? And why does he keep like putting up a wall or not saying he's attracted every time? Every single time is very weird. So yeah. So she's, like I said, this thick woman, and he is like, okay, the conversation is good, but I don't know about your looks. And I think attraction is very important. It's important, but it's like, I feel like he's kind of hanging it up. I don't know. It's weird. Like, you're in Atlanta, you're in the South. The woman are thick, so you better get on the thick train. Get on the thick train. Um, okay, so let's talk about Ashley. Oh, I forgot to get the ages, but anyways, I think they're both similarly young. Ashley seemed like she was a little bit older. Ashley farts. Ashley has a gas disorder, a gas situation, a gas moment every now and then. Well, not every now and then. Every then. And now. Ashley is a mess. I don't understand why we need to know that Ashley farts. I don't know if it was like dramatized, if it was special effects, but the amount of times Ashley farted in this episode was ridiculous and unnecessary. She lives with her roommate. They give a little bit of lesbian vibes, but maybe the roommate does. He gives a little lesbian vibe too. Xavier does, but we'll talk about it at the end. So she hasn't been with a man for like 10 to 11 years. She's been living with her roommate for like 11 years, 12 years, whatever. Either she hasn't had sex, she hasn't had a sex or a boyfriend for about 10 years. I know it was sex, definitely, because I'm just like thinking, okay, so she's basically a virgin again. Like, okay. She is a pastor. She's a PK, a preacher's kid, so I think that does have something to do with it. So what does the Married at First Sight people do? Dr. Viviana takes her to a sex shop, and she has one of like the little blow up toys, but it's like lips, and she's like, kiss the doll, make love to the doll. She kisses the doll, get just a reacquainted with a lip. Yeah, so she goes on this mock date. Okay, yeah. So they clean them up, fix them up. They go on mock dates or mock moments, and then they go on the actual date. So her mock date was with this guy. Well, let's start from the beginning. She brings her best friend to the mock date because her best friend's always like at her dates, trying to get her out of the date. Girl, call my phone, tell me I got an emergency and I gotta go. That kind of thing. So they go on this mock date, and she brings her best friend, and her best friend is not supposed to be there. So this seemed kind of fake. So they were like, okay, we're just gonna tie you up. So they tied her up. They tied them both up together. They're sitting back to back, at a booth or whatever. The date comes over, and he's like looking at the best friend, like, "Are you Ashley? Oh no, you're not Ashley. Okay." And so he skips over to Ashley. He's like, "Oh, you Ashley?" So it seems so fake. So the date, they're talking. They went to go do something. He's like, "Let's go do something or something." And Ashley gets up, and he sees that they're tied together. And so he's like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? And so she's like, that's my best friend. I don't remember. I didn't, I wasn't paying attention to that part, really. But that's my best friend, and we besties. And so they learn, stop bringing your girlfriend on your date. So the actual date comes. Mr. Xavier is there. He's in a suit at this like bar. Yeah, I don't know. So Ashley comes in late. He's like, girl, where the fuck you at? You late. And I kind of feel like that too. Like, don't be super duper late. I get it, 5, maybe 10 minutes late, but I feel like you shouldn't be late, especially on a date. Um, the date seemed to go pretty okay. He seemed very judgmental of her stuff. Like she was, saying, she seemed very open, very bubbly. Like she seemed present and like very nice, but he seemed very, judgmental, sipping his drink, looking side eye after like telling her. After she telling him that, she hasn't had a boyfriend for like 10 years and she hasn't had sex in so long and probably double the time. He's side eye looking at her strange. And then, she side eye him once he tells her that he works at a funeral home. She's like, okay, time to go. So then they kind of warm up to each other. And then they're like, okay, let's go dance. So they're on the floor dancing. And then they get a little hot and steamy. He was like getting his Southern charm on. She was like eating it up. He was like, you want to kiss, baby? You want to kiss? No. He was like, where's your little blow up doll? Because I think, yeah, she brought it out earlier in the day. She's like, look what I got. And so he's like, you want to taste some real lips? That's not exactly how it goes. But she's like, you want to taste some real lips? And she was like, yeah, let me taste some real lips. So they over there kissing and mocking and licking and dipping and slipping and sucking it up on the dance floor. It was very like, oh, y'all getting it on. It was very like, oh, something, I don't know if y'all faking it, but it seemed real. So, yeah, I kind of feel like at the end of the day, she was a little, and I'm noticing, especially with like the second episode also, this is the first episode, the second episode also, the men seem to not grow as much as the women do. And yeah, I don't know. But I'm saying, yeah, he seemed to not grow as much because he was very judgmental. But then at the end, he's like, I wasn't that physically attracted to her, but we had great conversation, like the same old, but there was no physical attraction that much. Like she's good looking, but you better get on the thick train and stop playing. But she definitely, I feel like she grew. Oh, her best friend was blowing up her phone. Sure, he called that. So he was like, your best friend seems kind of, he didn't tell her, but he told like his confession. He's like, her best friend kept blowing up her phone. She's like, I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to have Pastor Cal calling me, looking at this saying, girl, you shouldn't have answered that phone. She should have put the phone on like silent or something or put it away. But the cameras and the lights are flashing. It was just a mess. And he's like, best friend, who's calling up your phone, blowing up your phone? They seem kind of stalkerish. That's very ghetto. I'm like, ghetto? He had a very nice house, though. I like his little, like, house situation. There's, like, trees on the side. Very nice house situation. But ghetto, that was uncalled for. But I feel like she grew more than he did. She understood the assignment. She understood what was going on and how she needed to grow. He still, I don't know. So at the end of the time, they get a little kiss. He's at the end of the day, he's like, can I get another kiss? And she gives him another kiss. And he's like, one for the road. She gives another one for the road. And it's really cute. Very sexy. They ended up going on it. We ended up finding out they ended up going on another date to the cemetery. And that was pretty much it. I wanted to know if that was fake or real. Like, they actually seemed like maybe they were just horny. I don't know. It was very hot and steamy. That's what I'm just saying. It was very hot and steamy. And I was just like, all right, where are we going from this? So I guess they didn't go on another date. But he was like, did I say they went on another date? He took her to the cemetery. I don't know if that was real or not. Maybe that was fake because they actually didn't go on another date. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about episode 2. So, episode 2, we have Megan, who's 27, and what's his name? Caleb, who's 26. Oh. You know what? These people are in my age range, and I feel like I have nothing in common with these people. But anyways, so Megan is 27. She wants to be married by 30. And who the hell is Alexa? Alexia. I don't know what the hell that means. Alex. Okay, so she wants to be married by 30. She is a child. She can't cook because so she eats lots of fast food. She eats chicken nugs, or she calls them little nugs, chicken little nigs, as I call them. She eats pasta, but she eats it's the she'll tell you in a second. It's not the real meat. It's the vegetables. It's the Beyond. It's the uh whatever other plant based. um, I'm trying to remember, but all I wrote down was okay. So they went to a junkyard. Dr. Viviana took her to a junkyard. Let's get to the meat. They went to a junkyard in that really kind of staged, awkward scene. And so they're smashing stuff and talking and smashing stuff and talking. And we end up finding out that Megan is sad that, they're there to clean up and get stuff out. Clean up trauma, clean out, get out trauma. So we end up finding Megan says, oh, well, I'm kind of sad that my ex moved on before me and I'm still kind of stuck on that. And so then for her little mock date or clean up moment again, Pastor Cal takes her to a little cooking session. A little cooking session. So he's like, this is what, food and relationships, they kind of go hand in hand because food, you have to put work in to make it good. And same with your relationships. And so she's like, all right, well, let's give it a try. I don't know if she actually cooked or she actually enjoyed it. So they had this giant piece of salmon. And I'm like, Jesus, let's see what they do. Salmon, I don't like salmon anymore. I used to like salmon. I was like a kid and I was obsessed with salmon. I had it for like a week. And then I hadn't had it since I was probably like 10 or something. And then as an adult, I had it and it was horrible. I was just like, what the fuck? This is nasty. But that salmon they cooked, it looked very good. I think Pastor Khan might be like Jamaican or something. He has a little accent. Do you guys notice that? He has like a little accent. So it was brown. It might have been like blackened salmon or something, but it looked delicious. I thought we were going to get a recipe or something, but we just got, the beginning of the scene and the end of the scene. So she's like, okay, I guess I can try this. I don't know if she actually will or not. We'll see. And then we meet Caleb, who is 26. They say he's good looking. I don't agree. He doesn't have issues getting girls. His sister is like, or is that his mom? I think it was his sister's like, yeah, he doesn't have issues getting girls. They always come up to him. He's, white, good looking, but I'm like, there's better white men looking than him. He gets a blow up doll by Pastor Cal. Oh, he brings the girls to his hot tubs after the dates, or maybe he mixed up the date. I don't know. He playing football. Watching football and cooking and having Sunday feast with the people and football and other sports shit I don't really care about. So he gets this blow up doll, and Pastor Cal is like, take care of it. And I'm like, we're both like, what the fuck? And he got a lot more going on than Megan does. And so I'm just like, what the hell? So they didn't really see it. He ends up bringing this plastic blow up doll to this date with Viviana and Pastor Cal, and they're like, Viviana read him his rights. Viviana was like, the doll is cute and all, but the doll is you, because you, much like the doll, have no substance. You just look good, and that's pretty much it. That's all. And so his demeanor changed. He looked shocked. He looked embarrassed. He looked like, oh shit, oh, we really going here? And so they're like, yeah, you're horrible. You're much like the doll. So you need to find, he's like, Pastor Cal is like, you don't need to talk about, crazy stuff. Just talk about simple stuff. What are your values? What do you like? What is, simple things? And so he's like, okay, yeah. Oh my God, I need to work on that. I need to get that together. And so they're like, yeah, get it together. So I thought he was, that wake up call, I thought something was about to snap. So, Viviana is like, goes on a little mock date with him, and she takes him and brings Darla the makeup artist, to the house. And Darla make unders him, gives him like these glasses, some brown teeth, some like pimples and dimples and all this other stuff that makes him look worse than what he actually already does. But it wasn't that bad. But so they're like, I want you to this like staged this is another like staged moment. Let's go talk to these girls that are in this place. And so uh they're in line and he starts talking to this one girl, and he's like, oh, do you like coffee? And she's like, no, I don't really drink coffee. I think that was like pretty much the only conversation. It's like he doesn't know what to say. Like, you need to grow up, have simple conversation, know what to ask people. Like, what do they like? What do they like to go do? What do they like to see? What do they like to watch? What is going on in their lives? Grow up, basically. And you're ready for marriage? Get out of here. Not at 26. And you acting like, okay, never mind. I just realized what was going on. So then they got have him go talk to this other girl, this pretty little black girl with some blonde braids. And it gets even awkward. Like, it gets even silent. Like, he doesn't know what to say. He starts asking, like, do you have siblings? And she's like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, well, what do you do? She's like, I'm an esthetician. He's like, oh, okay, I can hit you up when I need a facial, because I clearly need a facial. She's like, yeah, I got you. And it was just like, okay, this is very weird, very awkward. And then she's like, what do you like to do? And he's like, oh, well, I work. And she's like, that sucks for you. And it's just like, okay. So that, again, didn't go that well. It went okay, but it didn't go that well. So they end up going, Megan and Caleb end up going on a date to Top Golf. And so I guess Megan has like this like competitive side and wanted to compete always. And so they're like, you need to tone that down and stop eating chicken nuggets. And then he just needs to open up and be an actual adult and talk and have good conversation. So at first, they had a horrible conversation. He was like, yeah, they were just like staring at each other, I think. She's like, hello? Can you say something? Can you make me smile? Can you do something? And so he's just like, just sitting there, and he's just like, my smile gets all the girls. And it's like, your smile gets all the girls. She's like, get the fuck out of here with all this shit. But then they started to warm up, and they started to talk, and they started to actually have a little bit more conversation. They're about to order some food, and she saw they had chicken nuggets on the menu, and she's like, oh Lord, just be with me. I see some chicken nuggets. Let me calm down. Let me go say my safe words. I'm getting anxiety because I wanted to order some chicken nuggets. And she was, I think he ends up ordering like pizza or something. Like, get off the chicken nuggets. And he was like, what do you like to eat? And she's like, I like chicken nuggets. And she's like, I pretty much eat chicken nuggets. He's like, chicken nuggets. And he's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I want to. It's not like she said. It's the plant based stuff. I'm like, oh my God, girl, you gotta get something else in your system. So she's like, let's play some golf. And so they end up playing golf, and he sucks at it. And she's competitive. She's for it. And he's like, not really good at it. And so he's like, if I do something, if I go in the hole or something, can I get a kiss? And so she's like, oh, boom, chakalaka, you ain't said nothing but a word. And so he flops at first and then he does it again and he gets it. He gets his kiss, they get a little hot and steamy moment like Xavier and Ashley. And so they kind of, warm up to each other. Oh, gets a little kiss. And so they're like, flirting real hard. They're going real hard with the flirtation at the end. And so he's like, I want to go on another date. And she's like, okay, you ain't said nothing but a word again. Let's get it popping. Let's go tonight. And so he's like, I don't know about that. She's like, okay, well, don't be waiting for too long. I ain't gonna be here for too long. 3 days, you gonna go without asking me for another date. So they leave. We end up fighting. They'll go on another date, but he takes her to a strip club. And I'm just like, that came out of nowhere. Where did that come from? I'm so confused. I don't understand. Where did the strip club situation? He doesn't look like he goes to strip clubs. Like he said, he works all the time, and he hangs out with his friends, eating food and watching football or whatever. So that took a turn for the worse. So at the end of the day, like I said, he grew more than, she grew more than he did. The females seem to be growing more than the males, and I don't understand what's going on. It's disgusting. It's weird. We gotta pray for the youngins out here, because her not getting chicken nuggets was really hard. And for him just to, do all this work, like I really thought he was gonna change when they told him, you ain't nothing but a plastic doll. Shout out to Lady Gaga. You ain't nothing but a plastic doll. And he looked shocked. I thought he was gonna change. Oh man, I'm so sad. Caleb, you ain't getting married, or you ain't going on the show anymore. So, anyways, that's all I have to say. What do you guys think about this show if you've watched it? I know I'm late to the game, but I told you, I don't have cable or whatever. I have Hulu. And it just popped up all of a sudden on Hulu. I'm probably like a year late because it came out last year, I think like last spring or something. So I'll be back next time once I watch episode 3 and 4 on the Dare Show podcast. You can watch me on, well, you can't watch me, but you can listen to me on YouTube. I have tons of YouTube videos. I do regular weekly podcast. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple. I'm on Anchor. Excuse me. I'm over here burping and farting like Ashley. I gotta go.